Chapter 1. The Invasion Begins. The sky tore open during what should have been a tranquil dawn. Jagged bolts of red lightning crackled through the atmosphere, heralding the arrival of something humanity had only dared to imagine in their nightmares. Alex Carter, a young astronaut barely back from his latest mission, watched in stunned silence as the alien armada descended upon Earth. "Get to the shelters! Move!" Alex's voice rang with urgency as he directed panicked civilians toward the underground bunkers. He'd been enjoying a rare visit home, the feel of Earth's grass beneath his feet, still a novelty after long months in space. Now, that tranquility was obliterated by the deafening roar of alien ships. Buildings crumbled under the precise strikes of energy weapons. Plumes of smoke choked the air. Alex caught the arm of a young girl, no older than 5, who stood frozen in fear. Her wide eyes reflected the fiery destruction around them. He picked her up and ran, dodging smoking debris. "Where are your parents?" Alex shouted over the din, holding the girl tight. She pointed a trembling finger towards the south, where remnants of a toppled apartment building smoldered. Disheartened but determined, Alex pushed forward, the girl's weight resting firmly on his hip. The ground shuddered with the rhythmic fall of alien machinery. "Alpha Base, do you copy?" Alex barked into his radio. Static greeted him, then faintly a voice emerged. "Alex, this is Alpha Base. We're under attack. Status? Evacuating survivors? Any intel on the enemy?" Alex ducked into an alley, still clutching the little girl. He peeked around the corner, scanning for threats. "They're fast, merciless, weapons we've never seen." The transmission cut off with a burst of static. Alex felt a chill despite the intense heat. He needed a plan. With most communication lines down and leadership in disarray, it fell to those like him to protect what they could. Nearby, a group of old friends from his training days were helping gather survivors. He signaled to James, a burly firefighter with a heart as big as his biceps. "James, we need to get these people underground fast." Alex placed the girl in James's arms and adjusted his gear. "They're hitting everything, Alex. Full assault, no mercy," James said, his voice grim but steady. "But we're not giving up, are we?" "Not a chance," Alex replied, determination hardening his features. "We'll shepherd them to safety." As the two coordinated efforts, directing terrified families and injured citizens towards the old subway tunnels repurposed as makeshift shelters, Alex's mind raced. They needed defenses, strategies. It wasn't enough to hide. They had to fight back. The thought of organizing resistance with minimal resources seemed impossible, but every shred of training and instinct demanded he try. "Alex!" A voice cut through the chaos. It was Dr. Emily Richards, a scientist from NASA, clutching a notebook thick with calculations and diagrams. "We might have a way to block their sensors, at least temporarily." Alex's eyes lit up, a sliver of hope breaking through the gloom. "Show me." In a shadowed basement beneath a wrecked warehouse, Emily spread her notes across a makeshift table. Alex focused on her swiftly drawn sketches and complex formulas, his mind racing to understand. This could work," Alex murmured, eyes scanning the intricate designs. "We just need the tech power sources, transmitters." James leaned over, glancing at the plans. "We might find something at the old military base, south side. Machines, comms gear, worth a shot." "All right," Alex said, nodding firmly. "Emily, you stay here. James, you're with me. Let's get what we need." As Alex and James prepared to head out, the weight of their mission pressed down with tangible force. The fate of countless lives hinged on their success. The alien command structure was unknown, their strength overwhelming, but humanity's spirit blazed defiantly in the face of annihilation. Stepping into the open air once more, Alex took a deep breath. The world around him lay in ruins, but within the rubble, the survivors clung to life and hope. The invasion had begun, but humanity's resolve was far from broken. "Let's go," Alex said, eyes fixed on the horizon where danger and destiny awaited. "We fight back." Chapter 2. Rising under the ruin. Desolation stretched endlessly before them. Smoke and ash filled the air as Alex led the group through the shattered remnants of their city. Once bustling streets were now eerily silent, save for the occasional rumble of alien craft and distant explosions. The earth itself seemed to groan under the weight of the destruction. "Stay low and keep moving," Alex whispered, guiding James, Emily, and a handful of survivors along a crumbling path. Each sound was amplified in the tense stillness, every shadow a potential threat. Emily clutched her notebook to her chest, the crude diagrams inside representing a fragile hope. James shouldered a makeshift pack filled with essentials scrounged from the ruins. The others moved silently, their faces masks of fear and determination. "We're close," Alex murmured, scanning for any movement. "The bunker should be just beyond that ridge." They crept forward, navigating the twisted metal and scorched earth. A sign, half buried and charred, indicated the entrance to an old military installation. Alex's heart pounded as they approached, the promise of answers and safety driving him onward. "We'll need to find the access panel," Emily said softly, eyes darting around. "It's likely buried under all this debris." Alex nodded and motioned for the group to spread out. As they sifted through the rubble, the world around them seemed to hold its breath. After what felt like an eternity, James gave a shout. "Over here!" Alex rushed over, finding James standing beside a half-buried metal door. The access panel was dented but intact. With a bit of effort and Emily's guidance, they pried it open, revealing a keypad. "Please work," Emily whispered as she punched in a code, remnants of long-ago security measures. For a tense moment, nothing happened. Then, with a groaning creak, the door slid open, revealing a dark stairwell leading deep underground. "Everyone in, quickly," Alex urged, guiding the survivors down the steps. They descended into the gloom, leaving the chaotic world above behind, if only temporarily. The air grew cooler as they ventured deeper, old emergency lights flickering to life, casting eerie shadows on the cracked walls. At the bottom, they found themselves in a large, reinforced chamber. Old monitors lined one wall, their screens dark. Shelves of dusty equipment filled the space, remnants of a once active military hub. "Let's get some power going," James muttered, moving towards the generator. He flicked switches and turned dials, coaxing life into the long-dormant systems. Soon, the hum of machinery echoed through the bunker, lights flickering to full strength. "These files might hold something useful," Emily said, scanning dusty binders and logbooks. "Anything to give us an edge." Alex wandered through the room, his mind swirling with plans. The bunker was well stocked, with rations and medical supplies they could use. But what they needed most was information and a way to fight back. "Look at this," Emily called, drawing Alex and James over. She had unearthed a map detailing old weapon caches and communication arrays scattered across the region. "If we can get to these sites, we might find what we need to boost our signal and get in touch with any remaining forces." James nodded, eyes narrowing. "We'll need to move fast and stay under the radar." Alex looked at his companions, feeling a surge of determination. "Agreed. Let's plan our next move. We can't just survive. We need to strike back." They spent hours strategizing, using the maps and resources at their disposal. The first priority was securing communication, reaching out to others who might be fighting back. As they worked, the mood in the bunker shifted from despair to resolve. It was a fragile flicker of hope, but in the overwhelming darkness they faced, it was enough. "We'll head to the nearest cache at dawn," Alex said, gathering the group around. "We're going to find the tools we need and take our world back." Echoes of alien thunder rumbled above, a grim reminder of the challenges ahead. But within the bunker, humanity's fierce spirit flickered to life, ready to rise from the ruins. Chapter 3: An Unexpected Ally. The bunker walls reverberated with the distant thrum of alien machinery, a stark reminder of the perils outside. In the dim light, Alex, James, and Emily huddled over a map, their resolve tempered and their plans taking shape when a sudden clanging echoed through the corridors, drawing everyone's attention. "What was that?" James tensed, ready for a fight. "Stay sharp," Alex said, motioning for the others to follow him. They moved quietly, their footsteps barely audible as they approached the source of the noise. At the end of a darkened hallway, the sound of metal scraping against metal grew louder. Alex raised his hand, signaling the group to halt. He glanced back at James, who nodded and hefted a makeshift weapon. They rounded the corner cautiously, their eyes falling on the source of the disturbance, a figure, huddled and shivering, working to pry open a rusted steel door. "Stop right there!" Alex's voice rang out, authoritative and unwavering. The figure froze, then slowly turned to face them, raising delicate, alien hands in a gesture of surrender. It was an alien, not unlike the ones attacking Earth, but there was something fundamentally different about this one. Her eyes, wide and luminescent, held a strange mixture of fear and desperation. She wore a tattered uniform, distinctly different from the invaders' sleek armor. "Please," she spoke in halting English, her voice tinged with urgency. "I mean no harm. I am Zara, and I want to help." James stepped forward, suspicion etched on his face. "Help us? Why should we trust you?" Zara lowered her gaze, her expression pained. "I am a defector. I could no longer stand by and watch the annihilation of your kind. Please, listen to me." Alex studied her for a moment, sensing sincerity in her words. "All right, we'll hear you out. But if you try anything—" "I have no intention to deceive," Zara interrupted, her voice softening. "I come with vital intelligence. Your only chance to survive, and perhaps to win, is to understand your enemy." Reluctantly, they escorted Zara back to the main chamber, where the group gathered around. Tension hung in the air as she began to speak. "My people, the Valorians, are governed by the Overseer, a ruthless leader who seeks to expand our domain through conquest," Zara explained, her voice steady despite the weight of her revelations. "They came here, drawn by the resources and strategic importance of your planet, but not all of us agree with this brutal expansion. Some, like me, believe in coexistence." Alex leaned forward, his curiosity piqued. "What can you tell us about their plans? Their weaknesses?" Zara hesitated before answering, her eyes locking onto Alex's. "The Overseer commands from a central ship, heavily fortified and hidden within your world's orbital blind spot. Destroying it would cripple their command structure and throw their forces into disarray. However, it's nearly impenetrable unless you have the right tools and knowledge." Emily perked up, sensing an opportunity. "We need more specifics. Schematics, routines, anything that can give us an edge." Zara nodded. "I have access codes and tactical data stored on a device in my possession. More importantly, I can guide you through their security measures." The room grew silent as the group absorbed her words. The weight of Zara's offer hung heavily, a betrayal of her own kind in service to theirs. "Why are you doing this?" James's question broke the silence, his tone less harsh, more curious. Zara's gaze softened. "Because not all Valorians are devoid of empathy. I have seen the suffering your people endure, and I cannot stand idly by any longer. Your resilience, it is something we once had, and I believe it can save you." Alex stood, extending a hand to Zara. "Then we'll work together. But be warned, trust is fragile in times like these." She took his hand, sealing a tentative alliance. In that moment, amidst the fluorescent hum of the bunker, the seeds of hope were sown. Hours passed as Zara shared what she knew, drawing detailed maps and schematics, outlining weaknesses and strategies. The group soaked up every detail, their resolve growing firmer with each revelation. "We'll need to move soon," Alex said, glancing at the maps. "The nearest weapon cache is our first target, and from there, we'll strategize our assault on the central ship." As they prepared to leave the bunker, the uncertainty of their alliance with Zara mingled with the palpable urgency to act. With each step they took, under the ruin of their city, the final confrontation loomed closer. Alex, now buoyed by the promise of vital intelligence and an unexpected ally, felt a flicker of hope ignite. If they could bring the fight to the Overseer and disrupt the alien command, there might still be a chance for humanity to rise from the ashes. Chapter 4: A Relic of Hope. The night cloaked their departure, casting shadows over the war-torn landscape. Under the dim, flickering light of an abandoned street lamp, Alex, James, Emily, and Zara moved swiftly. The old space station, now a forgotten relic, held an artifact that could turn the tide of the invasion. Each step carried a weight of urgency, the whispers of history buried beneath the devastation. "We need to be careful," Zara said, her voice low and urgent. "The Valorians are thorough in their patrols, and this path won't be easy." James nodded, keeping his weapon at the ready. "We'll manage. What's the quickest route to the station?" Zara pointed to the distant horizon, where a jagged silhouette of the space station loomed against the sky. "Through the wreckage of Sector 9. It's teeming with patrols, but it's our best shot." They navigated through broken streets and twisted steel, their movements silent and coordinated. Shadows seemed to dance around them, the eerie glow of alien tech casting an unnatural light. Alex led the way, his senses honed from years of space missions and survival training. As they neared Sector 9, a cold realization hit. The patrols were more frequent and better organized. Drones buzzed overhead, scanning the ruins with relentless precision. The team huddled behind a collapsed wall, planning their next move. "We'll have to time this perfectly," Emily whispered, clutching the diagrams indelibly etched into her mind. "If we cut through this alley and avoid the main roads, we might have a chance." Zara's alien eyes shimmered in the dim light. "I'll disable their sensors temporarily, but we need to move fast." Alex gave a nod of approval. "Let's do it." Moving with a blend of urgency and stealth, they navigated the alleyways, their breaths held as they slipped past patrols. Zara paused at the edge of a clearing, her hand glowing with alien energy as she manipulated a hidden control panel. A moment later, the drone's hum lessened, the sensor grids offline. "Go now," Zara urged. Their sprint through the clearing felt interminably long, every heartbeat a thunderous reminder of their peril. But they made it, the space station's entrance finally in sight. Years of neglect had ravaged it, vines and rust intertwining with its once proud structure. "Here it is," Alex said, his voice filled with a mix of awe and determination. "Let's find that artifact." The interior of the station was a labyrinth of forgotten technology and dust-choked hallways. Emergency lights flickered, casting ghostly shadows that played tricks on the mind. Emily led the way, her knowledge of old schematics guiding them through the maze. "It's in the central chamber," she said, her voice steady. "An artifact of immense power, something our ancestors kept hidden for fear it would fall into the wrong hands." They reached the central chamber, its entrance marked by ancient symbols and forgotten warnings. Inside, the air seemed to hum with latent energy, the walls vibrating with an eerie resonance. At the heart of the room sat the artifact, a crystalline structure, pulsating with an internal light. Before they could approach it, the ground beneath them trembled, a roar echoing through the hallways. The Valorians had detected their presence. "Quick, to the artifact!" Alex shouted, racing forward. Zara moved with balletic grace, her alien physiology adapting swiftly to the environment. She manipulated the controls surrounding the artifact, working to disable any protective measures. Emily scanned the surroundings for potential threats, while James and Alex stood guard, weapons ready. "Got it!" Zara exclaimed, lifting the artifact from its cradle. The chamber's hum intensified, the ancient energies reacting to its removal. But their success was short-lived. A team of Valorian soldiers burst through the entrance, weapons charging. The air crackled with hostile energy as fire was exchanged. James was a wall of defiance, trading shots with the invaders while Alex moved to cover Zara and Emily. "Go!" Alex yelled, pushing Zara towards the exit. "We've got what we came for." They fought their way back through the corridors, the artifact's light casting a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. Each step was a battle, every corner another potential ambush, but their will was unyielding. As they burst into the open air, panting but victorious, the reality of their fragile triumph settled in. "We have to get this back to the bunker," Emily said, clutching the artifact protectively. "It might be the key to everything." Zara looked at Alex, her eyes filled with a mixture of gratitude and resolve. "You have given me hope as well. Let's make sure this is not in vain." With the artifact in their possession, the team began their journey back. Under the ruined sky, burdened by the weight of impending battles and the flickers of stolen hope, they knew one thing. Humanity had found a relic of power, a symbol of their defiance and resilience. The fight for Earth wasn't over, it was just beginning, and with their newfound ally, they were more determined than ever to reclaim their world. Chapter 5: Betrayal from Within. The bunker buzzed with activity as Alex, James, Emily, and Zara returned, the artifact clutched tightly in Emily's hands. They were greeted with a mix of cheers and relieved sighs from the survivors they had left behind. But beneath the surface, an undercurrent of tension simmered, waiting to erupt. "We've got it," Alex announced, his voice firm but tinged with exhaustion. "This artifact could be our best chance to fight back." As they moved into the main chamber, Zara immediately began working to integrate the artifact with their existing technology. Her hands glowed faintly as she manipulated the controls, while Emily offered support, her vast knowledge filling in the gaps. James, however, kept a wary eye on their surroundings. Something felt off. Maybe it was the way the shadows seemed to stretch longer than usual, or perhaps it was the gnawing doubt creeping into his mind. The weight of a potential traitor loomed heavy on his shoulders. Hours passed, the artifact's energy slowly syncing with the bunker's systems. Plans were revisited, strategies refined. Amid this controlled chaos, a series of unsettling incidents started to unfold. First, it was the sudden failure of the main generator, plunging the bunker into darkness. Panic rippled through the survivors, and Alex quickly worked to restore power. Once light returned, they discovered that essential components had been removed. Who did this? Alex demanded, his voice echoing through the chamber. Anger boiled just beneath the surface, mingling with fear. Next, Emily found her notes on the artifact's integration missing. Everyone searched frantically, knowing that without those calculations, they would be flying blind. When the notes were finally recovered, they were scattered and incomplete. "Someone's sabotaging us from within," Emily said, her eyes wide with realization. "We need to find out who." The group huddled in a secluded corner of the bunker. Trust was fragile now, every glance tinged with suspicion. Alex's mind raced, piecing together fragments of conversations, subtle behaviors, anything that might reveal the traitor. "Zara, could it be one of your kind?" James asked, his tone accusatory. "No," Zara replied firmly. "If it were a Valorian, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Our methods are more direct." Emily bit her lip, contemplating. "Then it's someone here." Alex's eyes scanned the room, landing on each of his companions in turn. Trust was a precious commodity, and the stakes were too high for hesitation. "All right," Alex said, taking charge. "We need to split up and keep a close watch. Check everything and everyone. We will find out who's behind this." As they moved to their respective tasks, the tension in the bunker mounted. Olivia, an engineer, noticed James's furtive glances and whispered accusations, but said nothing. Mark, another survivor, began double-checking his surroundings, aware that paranoia could tear them apart faster than any alien weapon. Another sabotaged section of the bunker escalated the situation. A vital communication array was tampered with, delaying their ability to send distress signals or coordinate with potential allies. Alex clenched his fists, dread seeping into his thoughts. Time was running out. It was at this breaking point that Zara recalled something, a small detail she had overlooked. "I saw someone near the main generator just before it failed," she said, eyes narrowing in recollection. "I didn't recognize them then, but they moved like they were familiar with our layout." "Who?" Alex pressed. A moment of silence stretched, then Zara's eyes widened in realization. "Mark." The revelation hit like a sledgehammer. Mark had always kept to himself, seemingly dedicated to their cause, but the evidence was piling up. James and Alex confronted him, weapons ready. "Mark, you need to explain yourself," James demanded. Mark's eyes darted around, sweat beading on his forehead. "You're mistaken. I've been working to—" "Save it," Alex interrupted. "Why did you do it?" Mark's facade crumbled, a mixture of guilt and defiance in his eyes. "You don't understand. They promised me safety, a way out. I had to look after myself." "By betraying us?" Emily's voice was a mix of anger and disbelief. "They would have killed me," Mark confessed. I thought I could play both sides." "You condemned us all," Zara said, her voice cold. "We trusted you." With Mark in restraints, Alex addressed the group. "We need every bit of trust and cooperation to fight back. If anyone else is contemplating betrayal, remember this: unity is our only strength against a crushing force." As the days wore on, trust still fragile but their resolve hardened, the group focused on fortifying their defenses and integrating the artifact fully. They knew the true battles were yet to come, and this betrayal had only reaffirmed their need to remain vigilant and united. Alex, weary but undeterred, vowed to ensure that no more cracks would jeopardize their fragile hope. With the artifact in their grasp and the enemy above them, the fight for Earth's survival was far from over, but now it was clear who stood with them and who didn't. And with that clarity came the first true steps toward reclaiming their world. Chapter 6: Descent into Darkness. The air was tense and electric as Alex and Zara prepared for the perilous mission ahead. After Mark's betrayal, the stakes felt even higher. The plan was audacious: infiltrate the alien mothership and steal essential data that could reveal the invaders' vulnerabilities. "We can't afford any more mistakes," Alex said, securing his gear. His eyes flicked to Zara, seeking confirmation. Zara nodded, her resolve firm. We'll need to use the scout ship hidden in the old hangar. Its cloaking technology should give us a chance to slip past their defenses. The duo moved quickly through the bunker, the weight of their mission pressing heavily on their shoulders. The survivors they passed offered grim nods, understanding the gravity of the situation. Outside, the night air was still, the calm before the storm. The old hangar lay on the outskirts of the city, its once bustling interior now a graveyard of rusted machinery and broken dreams. Within its shadows, the small scout ship, an unassuming vessel, waited. "Ready?" Alex asked, his voice steady but charged with nervous energy. "Ready," Zara confirmed, climbing into the pilot seat. With a low hum, the ship came to life. Alex secured the hatch, and within moments they were airborne, the cloaking device hiding their presence from prying eyes. As they ascended, the city's destruction sprawled below them, a somber reminder of their mission's urgency. Approaching the mothership was an exercise in precision. The massive vessel hovered ominously above the planet, its sleek surface reflecting the dying embers of humanity's defenses. Zara's hands moved deftly over the controls, guiding the scout ship into a docking slip, hidden within the mothership's vast underbelly. "We're in," she whispered, eyes scanning for any sign of detection. "We have to move quickly." Navigating the oppressive corridors of the alien mothership felt like wading through a nightmare. The halls pulsed with an otherworldly glow, and every shadow seemed to harbor a threat. Alex and Zara pressed forward, relying on Zara's intimate knowledge of Valorian architecture to guide them. "We need to reach the central data core," Zara said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's heavily guarded, but I know a way around their main defenses." Each step was a blend of caution and haste, the duo slipping past patrols and security checkpoints with a mix of ingenuity and sheer luck. The distant hum of alien machinery added to the tension, underlining the constant danger. "Almost there," Zara said as they rounded a corner. Ahead, a massive door loomed, pulsing with an intricate web of alien script. Alex approached the control panel, glancing at Zara. She nodded and began decrypting the lock. Moments stretched into an eternity, the pair holding their breath as Zara worked. Finally, with a satisfying click, the door slid open. Inside, the central data core blinked with cascading streams of alien information. Alex and Zara moved quickly, connecting their portable device to the core. Data flowed, a river of code and intelligence revealing the secrets they desperately needed. As they worked, the far-off sound of footsteps echoed through the corridors, growing steadily closer. "We have company," Alex warned, his muscles tensing. "Just a bit longer," Zara urged, her eyes fixed on the device. "We need all of it." The air crackled with anticipation as the download neared completion. The footsteps grew louder, and Alex readied himself, weapon in hand. Finally, the device beeped, signaling the end of the transfer. "Got it," Zara said, pulling the device free. "Let's move." They bolted from the chamber, pushing back the encroaching dread. The corridors seemed to close in around them, the alien architecture a confusing maze designed to disorient. Patrols converged, forcing Alex and Zara to take cover in the alcoves and shadows. "This way," Zara whispered urgently, leading them down a rarely used maintenance shaft. The shaft was narrow and claustrophobic, the walls pressing in on all sides. Alex fought back a wave of panic, focusing on Zara's determined form ahead. They emerged in an unguarded hangar, their scout ship just within reach. "Almost there," Alex muttered, pushing through the exhaustion. As they approached the ship, an alarm rang out, harsh and piercing. The Valorians had discovered the breach. Zara activated the ship's cloaking measures as Alex secured the data device. They launched just as security forces stormed the hangar, narrowly avoiding capture. Flying back to Earth felt surreal, the atmosphere thick with tension and adrenaline. Though they had escaped the immediate threat, they knew their actions had alerted the Valorians. The data they carried, however, was worth the risk. As they re-entered the bunker, the atmosphere was charged with a new sense of hope and urgency. The stolen data could hold the key to dismantling the invaders' grip on their world. Alex and Zara handed the device to Emily, who immediately began analyzing the information. "You did it," James said, his voice filled with awe and relief. "You actually did it." Alex nodded, the weight of their mission slowly lifting. Now let's figure out how to use this and finish what we started. As the team gathered around the flickering screens, the shadows of the bunker seemed a little less daunting. For the first time since the invasion began, they had knowledge that could turn the tide. With their resolve fortified, they prepared for the next phase of their struggle, ready to reclaim their world from the darkness. Chapter 7: Turning the Tide. The bunker was alive with a sense of purpose. Emily's hurried footsteps echoed through the main chamber as she analyzed the stolen alien data. Hunched over her console, she sifted through streams of alien code, decrypting it line by line. Her fingers danced over the keyboard, hope sparking as she uncovered the crucial information buried within. "This is it," she declared, calling Alex and Zara over. "I found the flaw." Alex and Zara joined her, scanning the intricately detailed schematics glowing on the screen. Emily pointed to a segment highlighting a crucial component, the alien shielding matrix. "Their entire defense system relies on a single point of power distribution," Emily explained. "Take out this node, and their shields go down." Alex's eyes narrowed, his mind racing with the possibilities. "Can we explore?" Emily nodded, her face lighting up. "It'll require a coordinated assault, but yes, if we hit them fast and hard while the shields are down, we stand a chance." Zara added, "We must act quickly before they realize we've discovered the flaw." Alex straightened, determination set in his jaw. "Then we rally everyone, humans and Valorian defectors alike. We hit them with everything we've got." James, standing nearby, overheard and stepped forward. "You can count on me, whatever you need." News of the discovery spread like wildfire through the bunker. Spirits, once dimmed by endless losses, now flared with renewed hope. Survivors gathered in the main hall, their murmurs filling the air as Alex prepared to address them. "Listen up," Alex began, his voice firm and clear. "We have the chance we've been waiting for. A critical flaw in the Valorian defenses. We're going to exploit it and take down their shields, but we need every able body to fight. This is our chance to strike back and take our world back." Silence hung heavy, then slowly transformed into a resonant chorus of agreement. People stood, faces resolute. Among them, Valorian defectors stepped forward, their alignment a powerful symbol of unity. "We're in this together," Zara said, her voice carrying a promise of hope. "Let's show them what unity can achieve." The bunker transformed into a hive of activity. Plans were drawn, weapons prepared, and alliances forged. Alex worked tirelessly, coordinating teams and sharing information. James and Zara trained groups of fighters, instilling every ounce of strategy and resilience they had. In the final hours before their assault, Alex found a moment of quiet. He stood before a makeshift memorial, a collage of faces lost to the invasion. His fingers brushed over the photos, a reminder of why they fought. Emily joined him, breaking the silence. "We will make a difference, for them and for everyone who still believes." Alex nodded, a single tear slipping free. "For them," he echoed, strength surging through him. The dawn of the assault came quickly. The resistance assembled, a patchwork force of humanity and defected Valorians, united by a common cause. Their faces reflected a myriad of emotions: fear, hope, determination. Alex stood at the forefront, his presence a beacon of leadership. "To our positions," Alex ordered, his voice carrying across the ranks. "We move on my signal." The makeshift army fanned out, taking cover and preparing for the fight of their lives. Zara and Emily, coordinating the technical strike, worked seamlessly to pinpoint the critical node's location. "Ready!" Emily's voice crackled over the comms. "Execute, now!" The first wave of the assault hit with surgical precision. Explosions rocked the Valorian defenses, the targeted node shuddering under the assault. Energy ripples signaled the weakening of their shields. "They're down," Zara confirmed, her voice triumphant. "Move, move, move!" Alex commanded, leading the charge as resistance fighters surged forward. The battlefield erupted in chaos. Lasers cut through the air, explosions throwing earth and debris skyward. But the resistance, driven by sheer will and unified purpose, pushed forward relentlessly. James, side by side with Alex, fought with tenacity. "We're making progress." "Keep going," Alex shouted, adrenaline coursing through his veins. "Don't let up." Zara and Emily, supporting from a vantage point, directed fire and provided crucial intel, the unity of their respective skills a driving force behind the assault's success. "On your left," Emily warned, guiding a group to counter a flanking attempt. The Valorian forces, thrown into disarray by the loss of their shields, struggled to maintain cohesion. It was the break the resistance needed. Inch by brutal inch, they advanced, their momentum an unstoppable wave. Finally, amid the rubble and smoke, Alex's voice rose above the din. "Push them back! This is our land!" The final push saw the Valorians retreating, their defenses crumbling under the relentless onslaught. The sight of their foes withdrawing sparked a collective roar from the resistance, a sound of victory, hope, and defiance. As the dust settled, Alex stood amidst his comrades, exhaustion etched into every muscle, yet tempered by a profound sense of triumph. They had turned the tide. They had struck back. "We did it," Zara said quietly, her eyes meeting Alex's in a moment of shared victory. "This is only the beginning." Alex nodded, looking out over the dawn-lit battlefield. "But it's a beginning worth fighting for." For the first time since the invasion had begun, humanity had made a stand. With new allies and a fighting spirit reborn, they were poised to reclaim their future. The last beacon of hope burned brightly, a testament to their resilience and unity in the face of impossible odds. Now, Chapter 8, The Final Offensive. The air was thick with tension and anticipation as the unified force prepared for the final offensive. Alex stood before the assembled fighters, a sea of determined faces, each person ready to risk it all for the sake of their world. The early morning light painted the scene in a surreal glow, casting long shadows across the worn and battle-scarred faces of the resistance. "This is it," Alex began, his voice strong but tinged with the weight of their mission. "Today, we take the fight to their headquarters. We fight for our homes, our families, and our fallen. This is for humanity." A cheer rose, swelling with the fervor of 1,000 voices united by a singular purpose. Amid the throng, Valorian defectors stood shoulder to shoulder with human soldiers, their shared resolve a testament to Alex's leadership and the bonds forged through fire. "Positions," Alex called out, and the force sprang into action, each unit moving to their assigned roles with practiced precision. The plan was both ambitious and fraught with peril. The alien headquarters, a fortress of sleek, impenetrable design, loomed ahead. Its defenses were formidable, but Zara and Emily had identified key weaknesses, exploited by their tenacity and the stolen data. "Here goes nothing," James muttered, clapping Alex on the shoulder. "Let's show them what we're made of." "Stay sharp," Alex replied, gripping his weapon tight. "We've got one shot at this." The assault began with a coordinated strike on the outlying defenses. Explosions ripped through the early morning silence, the initial burst of fire taking out sentry towers and automated turrets. Teams of fighters moved swiftly, using the chaos to press forward. "Move up, cover each other," Alex commanded, his voice cutting through the noise. As they advanced, the resistance faced wave after wave of alien soldiers. The battle was fierce, the air crackling with energy bolts and the roar of heavy artillery. Alex fought with a balance of ferocity and tactical acumen, his mind ever in sync with the ebb and flow of the battlefield. "Alex, we've breached the outer perimeter," Zara shouted over the comms, her voice laced with urgency, "but they're regrouping fast." "Understood," Alex responded. "All units, push forward while they're disoriented." The push into the heart of the alien headquarters was brutal. Every corridor, every room seemed designed to slow their progress, to break their will. But the resistance fought on, driven by Alex's unwavering presence and the shared determination of every soldier. Emily worked tirelessly, decrypting alien codes and unlocking secure pathways. "I've got the main doors open, but their security systems are adapting." "Keep at it," Alex urged, ducking as an energy bolt seared past him. "We're almost there." The closer they got to the core, the fiercer the resistance became. Valorian commanders, recognizing the dire threat, threw every resource at them. Sacrifices were made, friends fell in the chaos and fury of battle, but each loss only spurred the survivors onward. "We're losing too many," James panted, blood streaking his face. "We can't keep this up." "We have to," Alex replied, his voice raw. "We owe it to everyone who's fallen, to everyone counting on us." At the final barrier, the resistance found themselves cornered. The alien commander, a towering figure of imposing strength and cunning, stood between them and victory. The ensuing fight was a whirlwind of violence and desperation. Alex squared off against the commander, their clash a brutal dance of survival. Blows landed with bone-crushing force, and energy weapons crackled with deadly intent. Around them, the battle raged, every fighter giving their all. End this, the commander sneered, launching a vicious strike. Alex blocked, retaliating with a fierce determination. We will end this, for our future. With a final, desperate surge of strength, Alex disarmed the commander, driving his weapon into the alien's core. The commander fell, a look of shock and disbelief on their face, and with that, the tide turned. Secure the core now, Alex shouted, rallying the last of their forces. As Emily and Zara worked to disable the remaining security systems, Alex and the fighters held the line, their resolve unshakable. Finally, the alien defenses crumbled, the headquarters' systems shutting down one by one. We've done it, Zara confirmed, her voice filled with exhausted relief. Their network is collapsing. A cheer resounded through the battered ranks of the resistance. They had achieved the impossible. The alien threat was on the verge of defeat, their command structure in shambles. Alex, bloodied and weary, looked out over the battlefield. The cost had been immense, and the fight had pushed them to their very limits. But they had prevailed. We did it, he whispered, the weight of their victory settling over him. For every fallen friend, for every shattered home, we did it. As the sun rose, casting its light over a world reborn from the ashes of war, Alex knew their work was far from over. Rebuilding would take time, and the scars of battle would linger. But today, they had taken the first true step towards reclaiming their future. Humanity had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The last beacon, a symbol of their resilience and unity, would shine brighter than ever before. Chapter 9. A Fractured Bond. As the battle-weary resistance fighters began tending to their wounds and regrouping within the once impregnable alien headquarters, a tense and uneasy calm settled over the scene. The air was thick with the scent of victory, but it was tinged with underlying suspicion and the weight of recent sacrifices. Alex leaned against a wall, catching his breath and surveying the ruins of their latest conquest. Zara approached him, her alien features softened by exhaustion and relief. We did it, Alex, she said, her voice a mixture of triumph and weariness. He offered her a nod, but before he could respond, James hurried over, his face an unreadable mask. Alex, we need to talk. Sensing the urgency, Alex followed James away from the throng of fighters. In a secluded corner, James's expression grew darker. We intercepted a transmission, James said, his voice hushed. It was from Zara, sent to someone within the alien ranks. It didn't sound like an ally checking in. It sounded like she was giving them information. Alex felt a cold knot form in his stomach. Are you sure? James nodded. Positive. We're not the only ones who heard it. The men are on edge. The news hit Alex like a sucker punch. Zara had been vital to their cause, her knowledge instrumental in their successes. Could she truly be betraying them, even now? He approached Zara, motioning for her to follow him out of earshot. Her expression turned wary, sensing the gravity of the moment. What's going on? Zara asked. Alex's eyes bore into hers. There was a transmission, from you, to someone in the alien ranks. What's going on, Zara? Her alien eyes widened in surprise. A transmission? No, Alex, I swear, it wasn't like that. I was trying to gather more intelligence on their fallback positions. That's not what it sounded like, James interjected, stepping into view, his tone accusatory. Zara's gaze flicked between Alex and James, desperation creeping into her voice. You have to believe me. I've fought alongside you. I've risked everything for this cause. Tension crackled in the air, the weight of the accusation heavy on everyone. The surrounding fighters watched with bated breath, the fragile unity of the resistance hanging in the balance. You've been invaluable to us, Zara, Alex said, struggling to keep his voice measured. But this is too big to ignore. How can we be sure you're not playing both sides? Zara took a deep breath, her eyes pleading. Because I chose to stand with you, Alex. Not just for strategy or survival, but because I believe in what you fight for. The message could have been intercepted or manipulated. A heavy silence followed her words, the seeds of doubt battling with memories of her loyalty. Alex knew that trust, once broken, was difficult to mend, and the lives of everyone could be at stake. Alex, we can't afford to be naive, James said, his voice edged with frustration. We need to consider the possibility that she's been compromising us. Alex turned to his old friend, feeling the full weight of his leadership. I know, James, but we also can't let paranoia tear us apart. We've seen what happens when trust is shattered. We need to get to the bottom of this, one step at a time. His decision made, Alex addressed the assembly of fighters. We will investigate this fully. Until then, Zara remains essential to our current plans, but we'll keep her under watch. Zara's shoulders sagged with a mix of relief and sadness. I understand, Alex. I have nothing to hide. The resistance moved forward, but the air remained thick with unspoken tension. Every glance cast in Zara's direction was tinged with suspicion. Despite their fervor for the final battle, a thread of uncertainty wove through their ranks. As they prepared for the climax of their struggle, the shadow of doubt lingered, testing the bonds that had been forged in the fires of war. Could Alex's trust in Zara withstand this blow, and more importantly, were they walking into a trap laid by an unseen enemy? In the heart of the alien headquarters, surrounded by both allies and potential foes, Alex knew the next steps would define their fate. They were on the cusp of a final push, but the question of Zara's loyalty hung over them, an unspoken fracture in their unity. Stay vigilant, Alex commanded, trying to steel his own resolve. We move within the hour. Trust must be earned, and today's actions will speak louder than words. As they geared up for the final offensive, the flicker of distrust threatened to overshadow their determination. But amid the doubt, Alex clung to a singular hope that the bonds they had forged would hold through this ultimate test. The fate of humanity and their collective future rested on the decisions made in these critical hours. Chapter 10: The Heart of the Enemy. The eerie silence of the alien headquarters contrasted sharply with the battle's chaos. Alex, Zara, James, and a select group of fighters moved stealthily through the labyrinthine corridors, their footsteps barely whispers against the metallic floors. The tension between them felt as palpable as the cold steel around them. Zara remained closely watched, her every move monitored. "We're close," Emily whispered through the comms. She was tracking their progress from a makeshift command center within the ruins. Her voice was a lifeline, guiding them through the maze. "The core is just ahead." Alex nodded, his mind focused on the mission, but a part of him couldn't shake the nagging distrust. Zara's presence beside him after the recent revelations was both a comfort and a discomfort. They had come too far to falter now, but the recent betrayal had left cracks in their unity. "Ready?" Alex asked, glancing at Zara and James. Both nodded, determination set in their eyes. Pushing the doubts aside, they moved forward, prepared for whatever lay ahead. The core chamber doors slid open with a hiss, revealing a vast room pulsating with alien energy. At its center, a massive, organic-looking structure glowed ominously, tendrils of energy weaving in and out of it. This was the heart of the enemy's power, the very source of their might. "Spread out," Alex ordered, his voice steady. "We need to find a way to shut this down." As they fanned out, examining the alien technology, Zara approached a section of the core, her eyes widening with surprise. This is something else." "What do you mean?" Alex asked, moving closer. Zara turned to him, her expression a mix of realization and sorrow. "This isn't just a power source, it's a life support system for their entire race. Without it, every Valorian on this planet will die." The revelation hit Alex like a physical blow. He staggered back, grappling with the implications. "Are you sure?" "They've been using Earth's resources not just to conquer, but to survive," Zara continued. "The Overseer's harsh tactics stem from desperation." James approached, his face a mask of confusion and anger. "So what? After everything they've done, we're supposed to feel sorry for them?" Alex wrestled with his thoughts, the moral dilemma cutting deeper than any weapon. "If we take this out, we end the invasion, but we also commit genocide." Zara's voice was soft, yet resolute. "There must be another way. We can disable their offensive capabilities without killing them all. We need to find a balance." The room grew tense as the group weighed the gravity of their decision. James paced, frustration clear. "They didn't show us mercy. Why should we?" Alex closed his eyes, the faces of fallen comrades flashing before him. Friends, family, lives shattered by the invasion. But behind those memories were also the countless faces of Valorian soldiers, fighting out of survival and necessity. "We can't become what we hate," Alex finally said, his voice trembling. "The price of victory can't be our humanity." Emily's voice crackled through the comms. "I've found something. If we overload their offensive matrix, it will cripple their ability to fight without destroying the life support systems. It's risky, but it could work." "Let's do it," Alex decided, his resolve hardening. "We'll give them a chance." With Zara and Emily's guidance, the team set to work, bypassing security measures and preparing the core for a controlled overload. Every second felt like an eternity, the weight of their actions pressing heavily on their shoulders. As the final adjustments were made, alarms blared, signaling the enemy's awareness of their presence. "We've got incoming," James shouted, readying his weapon. Alex took a deep breath, addressing his team. "Hold them off. We can do this." A fierce battle erupted in the core chamber, energy blasts and gunfire lighting up the room. Amid the chaos, Alex stayed focused, reinforcing the delicate balance of their plan. The air thrummed with tension, every heartbeat synchronized with the pulsating core. "Almost there," Zara urged, her fingers flying over the controls. As the energy surged, the core dimmed, a harmonic resonance echoing through the structure. The offensive systems began to overload, each node flickering out one by one. The tendrils of energy retracted, leaving the life support systems intact. "We did it," Emily confirmed, her voice breathless with relief. "They're disabled." The Valorian soldiers, realizing their imminent defeat, hesitated and then began to retreat. The chamber fell into an uneasy silence, broken only by the labored breaths of the resistance fighters. Alex stood, surveying the aftermath. "We won't win by becoming monsters. We need to find another way." James looked at him, respect mingling with lingering doubt. "I hope you're right, Alex." As they regrouped and prepared to exit the alien stronghold, Alex glanced at Zara, their bond fractured yet resilient. They had faced the heart of the enemy and emerged not just victorious, but human. Hope flickered within him. The fight was far from over, but today they had taken a crucial step toward a future shaped by understanding rather than hatred. The last beacon shone brighter, a testament to their enduring spirit and compassion. Chapter 11. The Beacon Ignites. The battered remnants of the resistance gathered around the relic's resting place, their faces illuminated by its eerie glow. The ancient artifact pulsed with enigmatic energy, waiting for the moment it would be called into action. Alex stood at its center, his mind racing with the weight of their journey and the battles that led them here. "The final push is upon us," Alex declared, his voice resolute. "We've activated the aliens' core, disabling their offensive capabilities, but the real test lies ahead. We need to activate the relic and send a signal to those out there who can help us turn the tide." Emily adjusted the relic's powerful transmitter, her fingers precise and steady. "We've tapped into the power grid. This should amplify the signal across the galaxy." Zara, standing in the shadows, stepped forward with newfound determination. "Once activated, the beacon will mark our defiance. It will call upon allies we may not even know exist." The team watched, breaths held, as Alex approached the relic. It felt almost surreal. Years of relentless struggle condensed into this singular moment. The air vibrated with anticipation, each beat of the relic's light promising a new dawn. "Here goes everything," Alex whispered, placing his hand on the relic's surface. Energy surged through the room, electrifying the atmosphere. The relic emitted a high-pitched hum, escalating in intensity. Rays of light extended from its core, casting intricate patterns across the walls. Each beam carried their hopes, their defiance, their undying will to survive and fight back. "Signal strength increasing," Emily called out, monitoring the readouts. "We're reaching optimal range." Outside the ruins, Valorian forces regrouped, sensing the shift. Their sleek ships hovered ominously, preparing for a final strike. The remnants of Earth's defenders braced themselves, weapons readied, knowing the critical nature of this moment. James moved to Alex's side, his resolve matching his leader's. "We're with you, Alex. To the end." Alex nodded, gripping James's shoulder. "Let's hold the line together." As the signal reached its peak, the relic fired a brilliant beam of light into the sky. It cut through the dark clouds, piercing the atmosphere and spreading across the galaxy. Within that light was their story, the story of humanity's resilience, their struggles, their unwavering spirit. The Valorian forces converged, their ships and soldiers massing for a final, desperate assault. The ground shook with the raw power of their offensive, but the resistance stood firm, their eyes locked on the beacon's glow. Suddenly, a low rumble vibrated through the air, an unearthly sound that reverberated across the battlefield. The ground troops paused, their attacks faltering as a new presence made itself known. From the heavens, ships materialized, emitting a radiant light that contrasted sharply with the darkened sky. Allies, drawn by the beacon's call, had come. Alien vessels of varied designs filled the horizon, responding to humanity's plea for aid. Amidst the newly arrived fleet, a ship descended, landing beside the rallied resistance forces. Its hatch opened to reveal beings of varied appearances, united by the signal of hope and a common goal. A tall, regal figure stepped forward, addressing Alex with a respectful nod. "We received your signal. Your struggle has not gone unheard. We are here to help." The battle took on a new dimension, the arrival of the Allies galvanizing the resistance. Side by side, they pushed back against the Valorian forces, the combined strength of combined species overwhelming the once dominant invaders. Energy weapons blazed, and explosions rocked the battlefield, but amidst the chaos, a sense of unity and unyielding hope grew stronger. The tide of the war had shifted, the beacon's light igniting a fire that could not be extinguished. Alex fought with renewed vigor, every strike, every command fueled by the beacon's promise. This was more than a battle for survival. It was a fight for a future where different beings could coexist, where hope outshone fear. As the last of the Valorian forces retreated, the battlefield fell into an exhausted silence. The victory had come at a great cost, but it was a victory nonetheless. The beacon's message had been received, and humanity's spirit had prevailed. The Allied leaders convened, their faces a mixture of relief and determination. "Together, we can rebuild," Alex said, his voice carrying the weight of their collective resolve. "We'll create a future worth fighting for." Beneath the light of the now quiet relic, the survivors and allies gathered. They had weathered the storm, faced the darkness, and reignited the spark of hope across the galaxy. The last beacon had fulfilled its promise, and in its glow, the seeds of a new beginning were sown, a testament to the power of unity in the face of insurmountable odds. Humanity had not just survived, they had found their place among the stars. Chapter 12: Rebirth and Resolution. The war was over. The echoes of the final battle lingered in the hearts of the survivors as they stood amidst the ruins of their once chaotic world. The air felt different, charged with the electric promise of a new beginning. For the first time in what seemed an eternity, the sky looked clearer, the sun warmer, and a fragile peace had settled over them. Alex walked through the remnants of the alien headquarters, its ominous structure now a symbol not of conquest, but of victory hard won. Around him, humans and defected Valorians worked side by side, beginning the monumental task of rebuilding. "Start clearing this debris," James called out, his voice carrying both authority and camaraderie. "We'll need a clean foundation to rebuild." Emily moved among the makeshift medical tents, tending to the wounded with newfound hope. "We said quietly as Alex approached her. "We really did it." Alex nodded, the weight of their journey evident in his eyes. "It's hard to believe, but now the real work begins." Zara joined them, her expression serene but reflective. "We've forged something new here. The bond between our people is a beacon of what we can achieve together." The alliance between humans and Valorians was fragile but genuine. Both races had faced the brink of annihilation and had chosen to stand together rather than fall separately. The unity forged in battle was now the foundation upon which they would rebuild. Alex visited the makeshift graves of fallen comrades, feeling the profound loss mingled with their victory. He placed a hand on the memorial, words coming to him in a hushed whisper. "For all you've given, we'll honor your sacrifice with a world worth living in." James joined him, his presence a steady comfort. "We've lost so much, but gained something priceless. This world belongs to all of us now." As days turned into weeks, the landscape of their world began to change. Debris was cleared, new structures emerged, and communities formed. The resilience of humanity and their newfound allies shone brightly, a testament to their indomitable spirit. A ceremony was held at the alien headquarters, now a symbol of their joint future. Alex stood before a diverse assembly of humans and Valorians, his heart swelling with pride and solemnity. We've faced the darkness together, Alex began, his voice clear and strong, and we emerged not just victorious but united. This hard-fought victory came at a steep cost, but it has forged a bond that will shape our future. He paused, letting his words sink in. We stand here today, not as enemies, but as allies and friends. Together, we've shown that understanding and cooperation are mightier than any weapon. Zara stepped forward, her voice resonating with the same conviction. We have learned from each other, grown stronger together. Our differences have become our strengths, and from this rebirth, we will build a future bright with promise. The crowd erupted in applause, the sound filled with hope and determination. As Alex looked out over the assembly, he saw faces filled with the light of new beginnings. The children who would grow up in this newly unified world would know a history of struggle, but also one of triumph and unity. In the days that followed, life slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy. Farmers replanted crops, schools reopened, and laughter once again filled the air. Every small act of rebuilding was a testament to their resilience and their commitment to a better world. Community meetings were held, bringing together voices from both races to discuss the future. Ideas were shared, plans were made, and a new society began to take shape, one that valued empathy, cooperation, and mutual respect above all else. Standing at the edge of a newly planted field, Alex felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Beside him, Zara watched the workers with a serene smile. "We've come a long way," she said softly. "We have," Alex agreed. "And now, it's up to us to protect and nurture what we've built." James approached, his arms laden with seedlings. "We plant the seeds now, for them to grow and flourish." Together they stepped forward, planting the first seed in the fertile soil of their reborn world. It was a symbolic act, a promise to the future generations that their legacy would be one of unity and hope. As the sun set over the horizon, bathing the world in golden light, Alex, Zara, and James stood together, their hearts and minds aligned with a shared purpose. The last beacon had fulfilled its promise, guiding them through the darkest times and into the dawn of a new era. In this new world, humanity emerged stronger, tempered by the fires of conflict and bonded with their former enemies. The future lay ahead, filled with endless possibilities, and they were ready to face it together. The journey had been arduous, the cost great, but the resolution and rebirth that followed promised a brighter, united future. The beacon's light would continue to shine, a symbol of their enduring spirit and unwavering hope.